Welcome to the Forsyth Magazines podcast. I'm Brooke Eagle, your host, bringing you the stories of the people shaping our community. From business owners to local leaders, we'll explore their journeys, passions, and lessons learned. Let's dive in. What's up, guys? I am so excited about my guest today. I have Isabella Migliarese. She is the founder and design principal at Theodore B Interiors. Hey, Isabella.
Hi, how are y'all?
Good. How are you?
Good.
You look beautiful.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad we're filming this too so people can see how gorgeous you look.
You know, it's a 2-for-1.
So, Isabella, I am so excited to learn more about your business, and I'm working on a project with you right now that I'm very excited about. So, Isabella does some residential stuff. She's doing a project for me that I'm pumped about, but she loves doing commercial projects, kind of that boutique commercial vibe. Is that right?
I do. I love med spas, medical offices, boutique luxury retail spaces, bakeries, anything you can think of. I love working with local women entrepreneurs who are also small business owners. That has a special place in my heart. But I do want to hone in on commercial in my next few years of business.
That's exciting. That's a cool niche.
Yeah, it's fun and it's different.
Yeah. So what are some recent projects that you've done?
So I recently finished Humblebee Bakery on Burke Street.
We love Brittany.
Yes.
Shout out
she
Brittany.
Is amazing.
B. McGee.
She wanted a French kind of Parisian immersement experience. And I think we accomplished that amazingly. It's very fun and colorful.
I'm sure it is très magnifique.
Yes.
And she's your neighbor.
She is.
Yeah, because your store is also on Burke Street.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. If you haven't stopped in there, you should definitely stop in.
Thank you. Yeah. Appointment only. Just give me a ring.
You can at least look in the beautiful windows.
You can always go up to the
by.
window. I would love that.
Yeah.
And
so
go ahead and just put your nose right on the glass because
honestly,
people
yes.
love that.
I'm used to seeing that on the cameras, so it's fun.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So I know you've done some other restaurants recently.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about some of those.
So I recently finished Brick Oven, which is in Clemens, my hometown.
Love Brick Oven.
And we totally redesigned it and did a very modern, sleek, black and white vibe for them. Kind of a modern take on a pizzeria. And it's been great.
And you're Italian. So.
And I'm Italian, so it was a very full circle moment for me.
I loved
it.
So speaking of being Italian, I want you to talk about where your business name came from, because I know that your dad has something to do with that.
Yes. So Theodore B was named after my father, who was a contractor and a developer locally. He passed when I was 15, so I wanted to kind of honor his name. Yeah. And my last name is also a mouthful, so I figured branding on Theodore B would be a bit easier.
Yeah.
And he would take me from job site to job site, and I just loved it. I loved construction. I loved architecture. And then as I got older, I realized, I think I'm good at this. I think I could really make this a career. Yeah. So I went to school for it, and here we are 5 years later.
I love that. So you've been in business 5 years now?
It'll be 5 years this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's exciting. That's a huge milestone.
Yeah, I think the last time you were here, it was you had just
It was year one.
Started.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were fresh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's the first thing that comes to mind that you've kind of learned in the last 5 years being a business owner?
Some things you just have to let kind of slide off your back.
Yeah.
Understanding people. I think the past few years, I've really learned how to read people, understand their needs, how to, work with them.
Yeah.
And be my most productive self and make everyone happy.
Yeah.
There are some people you just cannot make happy, and you just have to learn that it's okay.
Yeah.
You're not going to vibe with everyone. And then I've had some amazing clients who remind me why I did this in the first place, and they just make my heart happy. And we become friends afterwards.
Oh, that's
so I've
that's
made great relationships. And I think I've also learned how important a good team is.
Oh, yeah.
You need someone who can really hone you in and run the ship smoothly because you can't do everything.
You can try,
but
it's a good way to get burned out.
Exactly. Yes. So I've learned that is I just need to delegate certain things and you have to let go of control of certain things, and it helps you in the end.
Yeah. Oh, and it's something you kind of just have to learn with experience, I think.
Yeah.
Like what you're willing to delegate and what you want to maintain control of.
Definitely.
Because there's so many different aspects.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Isabella, what are some trends that you're seeing in the interiors world right now?
So I think we're going moodier.
I like that.
Mocha, dark gray. Of course, I always love a black accent. But I think heavier textures are really coming in. Leathered wallpapers, light fixtures such as yours that has some fringe.
Yeah.
Not so cold and stark. We really are getting warm and cozy.
Yeah.
So
I'm
really,
glad that we're getting past the all white,
the gray and white era.
Yeah.
Yes, we're moving
It was
into.
boring.
It was, and now it's a little sexier.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting more comfortable. And just creating spaces that people really enjoy. And it's not just a magazine. You can, cozy up on the sofa and just be amazed and immersed in your new design experience.
I think that's a good point because you of course want your space to look really nice, but you also live there or work
be functional.
there.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it has to have like a little bit of both, the functionality and the aesthetic that you want. How do you kind of balance that as a designer?
So, luckily, with newer technologies, performance fabrics, the pieces that we know if you want a white sofa.
Yeah.
And it's a little unrealistic, but there's performance fabrics now that you can spot clean. You could spill red wine, soda.
Yeah.
So it's just a balance of that.
Yeah.
Smart materials, smart choices.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go a little edgier, light fixtures, something you wouldn't spill something on or you wouldn't reach for, things like that.
Safe from kids' hands and pets.
Exactly. And even with kids' hands, now there's commercial wallpaper coverings. You can Clorox and bleach them. It's wonderful.
That's so nice.
So you don't have to give up those things even if you do have kids. You can just go with their performance vinyl.
That's nice. Because I'm sure a lot of moms who have young kids are thinking like, oh, well, I can't do any of that right now because my kid's going to ruin it.
It's like, no, live now.
Yeah.
Let's have a beautiful house now. And it can be, magazine worthy and kid friendly at the same time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you navigate clients like when they're asking you questions and stuff for choosing something that is trendy but also somewhat timeless so that they're not sick of it in 2 years?
So I always go the timeless route, and I always want every space to have something of that client's, the personal style in it.
Yeah.
So I think making it true to them and really listening in those first few design meetings, functionality, color schemes, what do they love? How do they want to feel? And it'll always be timeless if it's something they selected that, they loved.
Yeah.
And I, of course, might push them in a certain direction and say, oh, this is new, this is edgy, let's do this. But then let's also incorporate something a little more traditional and timeless that they lean towards. Mm-hmm. And that combination is just really special.
Yeah.
And it's a good balance.
Yeah. So on the flip side, what is something that you find yourself typically pushing clients away from doing and because you're like, you're going to regret this? Like,
I would say super trendy things. Color pops that maybe in a year or two, like painting cabinets red or bright green.
Yeah.
In a year or two, you might go, oh, that
was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot and it was fun.
Yeah.
Unless you just love that color and you're going to love it for 10 years, 15 years.
Yeah.
I recommend let's do color pops with accessories and drapery, pillows. Let's keep the base neutral. And don't go too crazy. We can bring in those funky elements without a bright red cabinet that we're stuck with for a while.
Yeah. Because repainting those cabinets ain't cheap.
No, that was an investment.
Yeah.
So you want to feel good about it at the end of the day.
So Isabella is helping me with a project at my house. I'm turning my dining room into a like library-ish room. And it's still going to be a dining room table, too, but we never eat in there. So I'm like, I want to do something fun in here.
In the 21st century here, 2025, what is the purpose actually of a dining room
Good
anymore?
Question. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I would say you can use it, 5 times a year for those big holidays, unless you just love to host and, once a week is girls' night or Bible study or something like that.
Yeah.
I think people are leaning more towards flex spaces, kind of like, your game room, den, library. It can be so many things.
Yeah.
You can sit and eat there if you need to, or
especially
we can
when
play a
like
game.
my house is a rather open space, and so I want it to be something that I like to look at, but that's also functional for several things.
Definitely.
So
I think people are honing in more on flex spaces.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of banquettes, dining banquettes. It's a little more casual.
Yeah.
And less, you feel like you have to sit up straight at the table and put your silverware, exactly where it should be.
Yeah.
It's just easier. And it's more functional. And I find people like to use that more. It's cooler. Yes.
It is cooler.
It's cooler.
This room is going to be so cool. I'm so excited.
It's going to be amazing. Dark, color drenched, moody.
Yeah. I love so I color drenched my bedroom like 2 years ago. And I remember people being like, "Oh, you sure about that?" And I was like, "I am. Like,
it was
I
the
really
best
want to do this."
decision. Yeah.
And it's becoming like more and more popular now, which is it's cool to see.
See, you were ahead of your time.
And
You
Brooke
knew.
also says, "It's my bedroom. I'll do what I want to."
Exactly.
Thanks for your opinion, but
Butt out.
that's funny. Okay, Isabella, I have some fun little questions to ask you to get to know you. Speaking of color, if everything in your house had to be one color, what color would you choose?
Ooh. I would choose like a creamy taupe.
Okay.
If I had to look like a lighter color for sure.
Yeah.
Surprisingly not black or kind of a mocha.
Yeah.
I think a light neutral.
Yeah, because if everything was black, that would be aggressive.
It might affect my mood a little too much.
Yeah.
I might be a little too calm all the time. You got to get going sometimes.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I'd say light and airy.
I feel like one color, everything in your house having to be one color would be like your worst nightmare, though.
And if you've been to my house, it's mainly neutrals and creams with little pops of black, brown.
But those pops make a big difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Would you rather have unlimited sushi for life or unlimited tacos for life?
Ooh. I would say unlimited sushi.
Yeah. I feel like you can switch it up a lot with sushi.
Oh, you can switch it up, fried, fresh, raw.
On the other hand, though, if you go with the tacos, you can have sushi tacos.
That's true.
That is a thought. That's
Sushi
a loophole,
tacos.
is what you just found.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know about a sushi taco, Tim.
Why?
I don't know.
I want to use the chopsticks. It's fun. It's so aesthetically pleasing. You get your cute selfie.
Dip it in the soy
or
sauce.
foodie, whatever you call it.
The low sodium soy sauce.
Low sodium always, yes. We're health queens.
That's funny. Okay, what is a weird tradition that your family has?
Ooh, that's a wide open question. A weird tradition.
I know you guys have lots of traditions.
We do.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, I come from a very large Italian family.
Yeah.
The good type of crazy, and they're very business minded. I would say we play some games at Christmas.
Yeah.
That are a little different. That's a tough one, actually. It's like, what can I divulge?
Top secret information.
Yes.
That's why she wanted to know if we edited these podcasts.
Yes, I needed to know. I'm like, oof.
Because remind me how many siblings you have.
So I have 4 older brothers.
Okay. You're the baby.
I'm the baby and the only girl.
Yeah.
And I come from a blended family. So it was very interesting growing up, and we have quite a large age gap.
Yeah.
So it was, I grew up quickly.
Yeah.
But I think it was great, honestly. I think that's one of the reasons I was more mature from a young age.
Well, because you're a woman, too.
That as well. You just have to put up with so much.
4 brothers. Oh, my gosh. I can't imagine.
Wild.
Are any of them local?
Not anymore. So one of them was local. He recently just moved to Wilmington.
Yeah.
And the others are in Virginia and Arizona.
Okay.
So we only see each other, a few times a year at the holidays where we play those games.
So speaking of traveling, you do take jobs on out of state, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I love an out-of-state project. I love to travel. I currently have a few projects in South Florida, Boca and Miami area.
Yeah.
And it's just a totally different environment, different
I would imagine
culture,
the
different
trends are
lifestyle.
different.
They are.
Yeah.
They're a little more ahead of the times, of course, being in a bigger city. So I love to get inspiration and make those connections. So if anyone out of state is interested in design work, I would love to hop on a consultation call and just see, take it from there.
Yeah, that's very fun.
So I have 2 questions. One, do you speak Italian?
I do not.
Okay.
Sadly, don't take my Italian card away.
No, I won't.
That's on my list.
I won't.
I'm
on the bucket list.
Yeah.
I like
2, and this may not make sense to the listeners at this moment, but I'll post a picture of it later. But I don't want free services. I don't want anything like that. Just look around this room and what would you change off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head. So I can see that you like some funky art.
Yeah, and all of
And
it
some
is
color.
local. It is all from the 9th floor on this building.
Very
It's
cool.
Art Collective up there. So
Yeah.
I have them on consignment, I guess, but it also gives me something on the walls.
Yeah, and something to talk about. They're all conversation pieces.
Yeah.
I think I would color drench in here. I think I would go moodier and darker.
Yeah, I feel like that's a
And
good studio
Yes, studio, I'd go moodier. And maybe to showcase the artwork, we get some picture lights
vibe. Ooh.
and, make it more of a focal point. But I think I would paint this out dark.
How
Go
dark?
cozy. Let's say charcoal gray. We don't have to go full, black, but
And that would
I'd go
probably help
moody.
with video too.
Definitely.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
I think the tones would show up better with a darker background.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, and give you some suggestions after
Little
the podcast.
consultation.
Yeah.
So speaking of consultations, do you offer, what's your consultation process if somebody's interested in working with you?
So someone reaches out, either via email, our website, Instagram, however you want to reach me, and we will schedule a discovery call or an on-site consultation.
Okay.
During that time, I discuss all those fun little details, your vision, your budget, how you want to feel in the space, what are your priorities, the functionality, are you single, and maybe we could have a little fun with the textures, or do you have children, and should we play it a little safer, go performance fabrics, the timeline that you have in mind. So I really just love to get to know the person.
Yeah.
And on a personal level.
Because your business is very relationship based.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I love that. So what is your website and your Instagram?
My Instagram is Theodore B Interiors.
Okay.
And my website is theodorebinteriors.com as well.
Awesome. So people can find you either or.
They can. You can
So-
find me somewhere.
So there's no longer a dot in the middle of Theodore.
There is. So on the Instagram, there is a Theodore B
Interior.
Interiors.
But I'm sure
the
if you type
website is a
in-
full one.
I'm sure if you type in Theodore B Interiors, it'll
It'll
pop up.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yes.
I had
definitely.
gone back to look at when your episode published in March of 2021.
Okay.
But I had seen where we had that. I just wanted to make sure
Yes.
that we had
yes.
it right.
So there is still a dot on
Yeah.
the Instagram. Thank you for
Love
asking
it.
that.
You're welcome.
Well,
I
Isabella,
take care of them.
thank you. Thank you so much for coming to chat with us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll have to do it again.
We will.
We'll do it again after my dining room / library is done.
Yes.
And we can
We'll
talk
do a
about
full
that
circle
process.
moment,
Yeah.
and maybe we can have the podcast there.
Oh,
Never
there you
know.
go.
Show
Have a
the
little,
space.
I'm mobile.
a little,
I love
little
that.
field trip.
Yes, with some cocktails.
Yeah, there you go. We'll have a
We'll
little
really
happy,
put the
little
space to
happy
use.
hour.
Yes, I love it.
It will really be a flex spot then.
Well, Isabella, make sure to give her a follow on Instagram and find her on her website. And you can see, I'm sure, some amazing photos of her work. And that is a wrap for today.
Awesome.
You can find Forsyth
You
Mags.
can find Forsyth Mags. You can find us online too. ForsythMags.com. We're on Instagram at Forsyth Mags, and all of our content is always on our website. And you can pick up our physical magazines at any of your local grocery stores, lots of local restaurants, all the things. And that's it. Okay, bye. The views and opinions stated on this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our distributors or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Forsyth Magazines Incorporated. Whew, that's a mouthful.